Yeah, I'm recording.
You're recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
It's really helpful to have two of those in the edit. Don't get so upset. How
I'm
are you
not
doing?
upset. Why? Like, I just don't understand why it has to be like I'm upset here. I'm just like participating in the podcast.
Are you're taking issue with like the archetypes that we've come to embody on this podcast? And you
What
wish
archetype do you think you're embodying right now?
the voice of
Be
reason?
honest. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, I have. And what archetype am I?
the raving lunatic.
The fool.
Mm, Not quite the
I'm not sure
fool.
raving lunatic is an archetype, brother, but if you just want to ascribe meaning to new whatever.
So, um, what role do you envision for yourself on this podcast?
No, I mean, I truly think I'm the only thing worth tuning in for. I don't think your sports takes are very insightful. I don't think your reasoning is very incisive, and I think your stories are boring. So I can't imagine why. I mean, you keep me focused, I guess.
Wow, this is a great way to start out. Stay tuned for some boring stories and shitty sports takes.
Cross me up! Don't snap, don't breathe. Just to leave me of this skin. And baby
No. Let's start again. Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Wait, are you actually recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, welcome to Phone Wall Keys, David Ortiz, everybody. This is another episode.
This is a podcast where my brother and I call each other up and we talk about Boston sports and some left-wing political matters. We kind of talk about what it's like to live with an ocean apart from us, and
Because if we were together, we would just be watching these games ourselves and not telling other people about it.
that's true. That's true.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. So, but we
So this podcast is really a burden that everyone else has to bear because you and I don't get to see enough of each other.
I think that's true. Yeah, I mean, somewhere along the lines we went completely insane and decided that the world needed us to tape our phone calls with each other, and here we are. Thanks for tuning in.
Do you remember early on when we were like trying to have guests and like special segments?
Special segments?
Yeah, like we like tried to have a reoccurring segment.
Oh, where you would talk about how evil the NFL owners were of that week. That was a good segment, and also I thought having the guests was kind of good too. But
Me too. Me too. We just
technologically
haven't done
difficult.
anything cool lately.
No, it's true. Do you have any ideas?
Um,
We still
no.
do tweet and use our Instagram sometimes. So if you have any ideas for guests or segments that you'd like to see us, please reach out to us. Phone Wallet Keys, David Ortiz on Twitter, Instagram. I guess you all what you really just truly do, except for our troll. Everyone else just texts us individually, and then
I haven't gotten a podcast related text message in, I would say, 3 months.
really,
Have you?
oh yeah, big time.
Will you screenshot them and send them to me?
No, because they would hurt your feelings. They're all really. All right, let's talk about the Patriots.
All right. I love you.
What? You leaving?
Yeah, I'm out. It was nice. Nice try. Not going to sucker me into this bullshit anymore.
If you, I mean, I'm probably gonna cut this out, but I just wish that I could maybe I'll take a screenshot of your
Don't
eyebrows. They're
fucking
insane.
screenshot me. My eyebrows, Sam. I can't control them.
Did you see the Patriots game on Sunday?
Yeah, I was pissed off about it.
You saw the game? Well, I mean, yeah,
Basically,
was
I
pissed off too.
stay up really late in London and watch these games, and then they like, I don't know. We started off 10-0 and are now 13-3. Is that right? No, 11-3.
Oh yeah.
So we've gone 1-4 in our last 4 games.
That's right. Yeah. No. Well, no. 2-4 because we beat the Eagles and the Cowboys. You know.
2-3. So we've gone 2-3 over our last games, 5 games.
Yeah.
So when we lose, what happens is it like, not only does it ruin my next day because I've stayed up half the night before watching, but like then I like can't go to sleep and I'm all pissed off.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. This Chiefs game really upset me.
Were you? I mean, I was. The refs threw the game against us. It was fucking crazy. Why would you ever call that out of bounds? I mean, they took away 2 touchdowns. They made us. They were gonna try and make us score 3 times, and we couldn't do it. We could only score twice, and then we had to kick a field goal, and that ended up being the difference of the game. They did these 2 things that you're never supposed to do as a referee. Number 1 is you don't blow a play dead when it's or like when it's not obviously dead. They blew Stephon Gilmore had the ball from a totally legitimate fumble and was going to score a touchdown, but they blew it dead. The call had to be overturned, which then we had to use a challenge, which sucked because then when they did the second cardinal sin of refereeing, which is if it's a really close play and you're not sure, on the goal line, you call it a touchdown because that's reviewable, but they called it out of bounds. They were incorrect, and we didn't have any more challenges because we had to use it on the last stupid thing that they had done.
I have actually never seen Bill Belichick caught in a situation like this without any challenges. That was jarring.
Well, I mean, because the rule is you get 2 challenges and you have to get them both right to use the third. And the first challenge he lost, which was interesting. It was an important, like it felt like an important moment of the game. It was 3rd down. We were on defense, and they
Clearly came up short. They spotted the ball too close.
Well, they spotted that they gave him an extra yard, and what was interesting is they maybe actually did have the first down, but he still could have won the challenge. Like if you challenge the place, the spot
based on the
ball,
spot,
which,
yeah, I know. It
which
seems
is what
like
they did. They should have moved it back a yard, still giving him the first down, but giving us back the challenge, right?
Yeah, but they fucked us.
They totally fucked us in that game, and also we fucked ourselves. Like we had it 4th and goal, and a guy
Couldn't
like
score.
we couldn't score. Yeah. But it actually made me feel a little bit better that game than the fucking game before that. The Texans the loss of a bad Texans team.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
with
mean,
the
I thought we actually played pretty well against the Chiefs, especially in the second half.
Yeah, and
Like
honestly,
if we hadn't
they,
thrown that Brady interception in the second quarter, which like looked like total luck. Like the guy, like I was trying to cover Edelman, went with a tight end, and then like looked up and the ball was right in front of him. If that doesn't happen, I think we win the game. I was pleased with the way our defense recovered because it looked like at a certain point it was going to be like 31-7 by the time we got the ball again after the second quarter. But
Right.
instead,
The
we held them
defense-
to 3 points the rest of the way.
The concerning thing was definitely the offensive line made the fucking Chiefs look like extremely like one of the best pass rushing teams in the league, which they're not, right? That
Right.
was weird. I mean, we have our 3rd string center in, but our fucking left tackle's back and he's not just dominating like we needed him.
He's doing pretty well. I mean, he had
he
a couple
gave
of
up
bad
couple sacks, yeah.
and a couple of bad false start penalties. It's not great.
Really.
It's not great.
And Keneal Harry, like they weren't even playing Keneal Harry except for the one touchdown that he scored that was taken away. And Brady doesn't trust Jacoby Myers, who dropped a ball in the end zone. It's like, it actually can't be done with Edelman and James White alone, because if they just double Edelman, they put a fucking cornerback on James White, and then we need one other person to come through, and I just don't know who it's going to be yet. Who could it possibly be?
I mean, like, we traded a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu. He's not playing very well.
Yeah, maybe Sanu is figuring it out. I don't know. It's so disappointing. But it's got to be either Sanu or Keneal Harry, either the rookie or the veteran, who are both late season additions. One of them needs to figure this out, because Brady can't, like, he's like forcing it to Edelman when he's double teamed, and it's just bad offense.
Yeah, I agree.
But I didn't watch that game and say, oh yeah, Kansas City, if we all win out now, Kansas City will have to come to New England for a playoff game. And after watching that game, I don't feel like Kansas City is going to come into New England again and like take care of us again. Like, I felt like they needed a lot of luck, a lot of help. Your plan to reroute their luggage to New Jersey was thwarted at the last second, unfortunately. But I thought,
I
it was
tried.
a good idea. I know, it was a good idea. And I think if more people in Boston had realized what was going on and had just taken to the streets to stop the envoy, like the fucking state troopers, like, we needed some direct action. Shut it down.
Fucking,
on the highway.
I can't believe the New England State Police mired in their 3 scandals right now. Their overtime scandal, the drug lab scandal, and the fact that their fucking pig cocksucker scandal managed to cost the Patriots
a general
game.
scandal.
Yeah, it's scandalous how they're only interested in protecting private property in this Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Yeah. But yeah, they lost us the game the first time before the game even started, because the Max worked out this amazing plan to send all of the football helmets from Kansas City to, instead of to Boston, he rerouted them to New Jersey, and they would have had to forfeit the game if they didn't get there in time. They got there like maybe 45 minutes before the game started, thanks to the state troopers. So if the Patriots win out,
They will be
which
13-3.
that's a big if, because we have the Bills next week, and the Bills all of a sudden look really good. I said the Bills looked really good before, and you mocked me, but
I didn't mock you.
Yeah, you did.
Wait, just
I'll go
like
back.
you said you were going to rent the car? Is it in the same way that you rented the car I mocked you, or different? Non-existently? Was it an actual mocking?
Yeah, when you were saying before, like, who have the Patriots beat that are good, and I had listed the Bills in a previous episode.
Oh, I think that was true. I mean, I think the Bills are like one of the 4 best teams in the AFC.
Are they the 4th? I mean, not the Texans. It sucks that the Texans beat us so bad. If they're not one of the 4 best teams, but whatever. Yeah, so we have the Bills next week, which is going to be, I mean, they have an incredible defense, and it's just like perfect timing with our completely inept offense to try and.
I know. In order to move the ball, we're resorting to these, like, James White threw a pass in the game. Like, we're scoring on only flea flickers now. It's like, we can't do anything right.
And also, the same thing that's happened in the last 2 games is, like, we try and establish the run. And in order to establish the run for us, what that requires is just, like, lots and lots of 1 or 2 yard runs. And then it does start to open it up a little bit. It's so frustrating and stupid. But meanwhile, like, there's like a couple fluke plays will happen early in the game, and while we're establishing the run, it feels like we're down 14 points. And then, like, the run is established, but we can't even, like, run the ball anymore because have dug ourselves in a hole. So I think we should chill out on us trying to establish the run, even though because we have shown that that we make other mistakes in special teams, or Brady will throw an interception or something. Well, crazy will happen. So I think we should just try and score some points. Although I guess we did that. We scored on the opening drive against Kansas City, and then we tried to establish the run, and then next thing I knew, we were down 2 touchdowns. I don't know.
Sam, we scored a touchdown on the first fucking drive. We held them. We intercepted their first pass.
Yes, went 3 and out and punted.
Then they got a field goal. Then we turned the ball over. They scored a quick touchdown. Then we went 3 and out. Then they scored another touchdown, and it was suddenly 17-7, and we won every other quarter. But
yeah, but those 3 and outs that you're talking about was what I'm talking about. We were trying to establish the run. We're just running 1-yard gains. With
it's bad.
Michel. It's so stupid. What's the personnel situation? Last year, there was a way to even when we were bad and we lost to the Dolphins and then the Titans or whatever in back-to-back weeks in December,
Steelers.
There was still whatever. I think it was the Titans. It doesn't matter.
You're wrong.
There was still we still had Josh Gordon. Actually, we lost Josh Gordon at a certain point. We still had Rob Gronkowski, and that was it. We were basically we're going to figure this out. Our
Josh Gordon went out, and you're like, the Super Bowl is over. That's what you said last year. We said we don't have the personnel to win the Super Bowl. You're like, that's a wrap. I broke the news to you live on the air, and you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. Well, can we sign Antonio Brown or what? What's the fucking deal? Is it too late? I don't understand.
It's not too late, but he's like a fucking idiot.
But it is too late to sign Rob Gronkowski?
Yes.
There was some deadline with him. Why does that not exist for...
Because Antonio Brown isn't retired. He's just in timeout because he's truly a social media liability.
Not just social media liability. He's a rapist.
I mean, if that's true, then I don't want him on my team.
Even if it means one more Super Bowl?
Yes.
Wow. Very enlightened position of you, brother.
Thank you, Sam. Look, I think you really need to lock the fuck in. This podcast kind of sucks so far. I mean, the football banter is pretty good.
Real in-game analysis here from my brother.
But do you want to talk about the Celtics? Because
what if the commentators who commentate on the NFL game would also critique their own commentary during?
You mean if Jim Nance and Tony Romo were Tony, I gotta say, halfway through this game and not a single good call by you, Jim. When is the A game Jim Nance gonna show up?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Also, have you been paying any attention to Spygate 2.0?
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me about it.
Well,
we were filming the sidelines of the Bengals-Browns game for advanced scouting to play the Bengals this week.
No. What happened?
Week?
So the Patriots, who have won 3 out of the last 5 Super Bowls and become a standard of success, every year they win the Super Bowl, they produce a special documentary called Do Your Job. They've got 3 of them now. Do Your Job was 1, 2, and 3, and they're so popular. They're in New England, they're the most viewed YouTube videos of all time. People are putting Do Your Job on T-shirts. They're getting it tattooed on their arms. People love to do their job. It's a trademarked New England Patriots sentence now. And in order to build the brand up more, they've started this docu-series on YouTube called Do Your Job, Extended. And I saw this one episode where they just interviewed the chefs of the Patriots and talk about how much fish the football players eat each week. And it was incredible. It was riveting. Just
how much fish they eat.
It's we're talking in the metric tons. And like if like you make it to the NFL and you're on the Patriots, they take such good care of you. They're like, "What is your favorite food to eat?" And then they make it for you all 3 meals a day. And then there was a video about the equipment manager and how he has like how everyone on his team is always sprinting wherever they go. And so they were making a new episode this week about the advanced scouting. And so they brought one of their advanced scouts to Cleveland where the Patriots are playing next week.
No, because the Patriots are playing the Bengals next week, and Cleveland was playing the Bengals.
Right, I'm sorry.
But yes.
They told the Bengals that they were making this documentary. They didn't tell, and like they were shooting.
They told Cleveland. The Bengals were playing in Cleveland, and the Patriots like filmed. It's not even the Patriots. Like the production company let Cleveland know we're going to be coming to Cleveland to film some stuff at the game for the Do Your Job documentary, but they neglected to tell the Bengals, and apparently they filmed some stuff that included
just like the B-roll, B-roll, yeah.
Yeah, of the scout watching the game. But this is footage that it's like live footage of the game. People can anyone could film it on their phones.
Totally. And also, nobody uses signals anymore. Like, there's no competitive advantage to be gleaned after radio. You know, like, the plays aren't hand signaled in from the sidelines. They're communicated via radio transmitter.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
and again, if there was a competitive advantage that could be gained from filming the sideline during games, there are you could easily sneak people in there with their phones and just.
Yeah, right. There's like 75,000 people who are in position to film the field. But long story short, because it's the Patriots and everyone hates us, I'm hearing rumblings of Spygate too.
Of course. Well, also the Bengals in anticipation of getting fucked up because the Bengals suck are just like trying to get ahead of the narrative. Say it's because the Patriots filmed them on the
right. So this like fucking like try-hard staffer intern on the Bengals was like, I am gonna catch the Patriots red-handed, and was like so gleeful, and now like started feeding one ESPN staffer who also no one had ever heard of all of these tweets, and they managed to create a thing that the Patriots are now backtracking, having to like play defense on.
Issue public apologies about. I don't give a fuck about this at all. Do you care at all? Does this bug you?
Well, what if it bugs me that like malignant Boston sports media people are like being like, wow, Patriots really stepped in it this time. Like how many times is this team going to shoot itself in the foot? It's like the most successful sports franchise in the history of modern sports is like has to suffer the slings and arrows of Ben Volin and Dan Shaughnessy. It's just so embarrassing.
I mean, yes, but when you're on, people are going to take shots at you and you're on top. I want to talk about a different Globe story. Actually, I don't know if it was Globe. Was it Current? Someone reported that this is like looking like sources are saying a well-sourced piece said that this could be Brady's last year with the Patriots.
It definitely could be. Nothing's guaranteed.
Well, like with his contract status and up in the air, Brady is not done playing. It doesn't even look like he should be done playing.
He's good.
But there is a chance that he goes somewhere else next year. How does that make you feel?
It would fuck me up. I'd be sad to see Tom Brady play anywhere else.
It would really fuck me up.
But, I mean, look, Bill Belichick is assembling, Sam, a coaching dynasty. His son will one day be in position to coach the Patriots to more and more Super Bowls. And so if you have to pick one, like the twilight of Brady versus the continuation of Belichick's unquestioned leadership, I choose the latter. I'm sorry. I don't want to choose. I don't want to
That's crazy
choose.
that you just. No one forced you to just choose right there, but you just did. You just willingly did it. So it seems like you did want to choose.
Well, if
And I'm
Belichick says
really
that
upset at you.
it's not worth re-signing this guy for like, I just have a hard time imagining who's gonna sign, like where Tom Brady would rather play than
San Diego,
San Diego.
or
You mean-
L.A., L.A. Yeah. He's from California. They have a really good team with lots of weapons, and Phillip Rivers is definitely gone after the season. They're trying to sell seats in their new stadium. They're gonna go after him.
Yeah.
I don't want.
I mean, if you think Tom Brady is
happen.
going to, I think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And if you
I think so,
think Tom Brady is going to leave a Super Bowl winning team for a 4-12 Chargers team, like I don't know what to tell you. I
don't
think that's
see it
insane.
happening, yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would he want to go be a
wants to
loser?
win Super Bowls, and the best chance to do that is with the Patriots. For
Right,
sure.
because everyone else who's in position to win a Super Bowl has their quarterback situation.
That's right. That's right. You made me feel better. He's not leaving. He's not going to leave. I don't know if we're going to win the Super Bowl. Here's what's going to need to happen. In order for us to win the Super Bowl, we need to obviously start by winning out the regular season to just secure the first round bye. So we're going to have to beat the Bills. We're going to have to beat the Bengals, even though they destroyed our footage of their, in our advanced scouting of them. So now we're fucked.
I know
but-
they're fucking with my YouTube like pre-week pre-game countdown ritual where I watch a documentary about the Patriots organization.
I didn't know that you did that. It's really cute.
I just like to watch documentaries about successful things I care about.
So win out the regular season, secure the first round bye, and then honestly, like my hope is that somehow, some way, the Chiefs, the Chiefs fuck up the rest of the regular season and somehow have to play Baltimore instead of us. But I'm not counting on that. We're gonna have to beat the Chiefs at home, and then we're gonna have to go to Baltimore and win there. And you know what? That's not that hard. We can fucking do that. We almost beat the Chiefs at home now, and we almost beat Baltimore in Baltimore earlier in the season. And it's gonna be really fucking cold, and we're gonna do really well there. We don't know how Lamar Jackson is gonna do. Like he shat the bed in his first career playoff game last year, so we don't know how he's gonna handle that pressure. And I like our fucking chances.
Me too. I mean, we're the defending Super Bowl champion, and we have the best
Yeah.
coach and best quarterback of all time, and the best defense I've ever seen. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. But
I mean, we're
what?
no, nothing.
What's frustrating is with our wide receiver core the way it was constructed in week 2, if we still had them, like Demaryius Thomas and Josh Gordon and Antonio Brown, we would be talking about going undefeated.
What the fuck? Why? Where is Josh Gordon playing well for the fucking? Was he on Seattle? Like, why did we get rid of him?
I don't know. I guess I thought Harry could do the same thing.
No, they thought Sanu could do the same thing.
It sucks.
And like the fucking 49ers got Sanders at the same time that we got Sanu, and Sanders looks fucking really good for them. Emmanuel Sanders or whatever.
Yeah.
Sanu sucks. Whatever. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna win the Super Bowl.
It's going to be great. I mean, the thing is, brother, right? Like, think about the rounds of the playoffs. You know what I mean? I was thinking about this today. The rounds of the playoffs. Like, we've had so much playoff success. Tom Brady has won 30 playoff games since we were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You were in 8th grade, correct me if I'm wrong, 7th grade when we won our first Super Bowl.
8th grade.
And now you're like past your prime man. And Tom Brady
That's
is
not true.
still our quarterback.
I'm not past my prime.
Reasonable minds can differ on whether or not you're past your prime, but one thing that's irrefutable is that Tom Brady has been winning playoff games since you were like 13 years old.
Irrefutable.
And in the second round of the playoffs, which if we get our first round bye again, that's when we're going to be starting. Tom Brady has played like 13 or 14 times.
Yes.
And I think in that round of the playoffs, I mean, some people would say the 2014 Baltimore game where they have the double pass and those like insane formations to beat the Ravens.
Oh, that was a great game.
Is the best, but I still think the 2001 one in the snow against the Raiders, the tuck rule game, is Tom Brady's best performance when he goes 8 for 8 in overtime to beat the Raiders.
Why are we going? What's going on here? We're going on a trip down memory lane.
Well, no, I'm just saying
Brady's playoff performances.
Yeah, but in the AFC Championship game, his best performance, I would argue, came last year.
Last year, yeah,
against the Chiefs. That was like if you look at all of his like AFC Championship game fourth quarters, it really there's nothing even close. Like the Jacksonville one was pretty good, but to beat that San Diego team in overtime on the road is his finest performance.
Kansas City.
Yeah, sorry.
No. So he's trending upwards. Maybe this.
No, I'm just saying he has it in him. Like,
no, I agree. I completely.
Last year he was still pulling out these incredible performances, and I think he can do it again.
Agreed.
What's up? You're knocking on doors for Jeremy Corbyn?
Yeah. So do you know like the way it works in this country? It's like this parliamentary
England?
system. Like
No, I don't fucking know how it works. And they have a Magna Carta, and
All right, slow down.
there's a king, and the prince, and he is a rapist too, probably.
Yes, he is. And he got the Donald Trump said, I don't even know him this week, which means that there's like definitely hundreds of photos of him and that person together. And
What person?
Prince Andrew in this case. But every time Donald Trump says, I don't know him, it just means there's about to be a massive photo dump. Stop yawning. What the fuck? Am I boring you? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, you're talking British politics.
Well, you asked about
boring.
British politics. Did you just want to take a break and like... Why are you so tired? Is it because the sun is shining directly on your face? Draw the blinds. I don't know.
I don't have blinds.
Oh. But yeah, it's really a weird thing having an American accent and knock on British people's doors and telling them how I think they should vote.
What do you think you would have done, like if you were living in Boston and a British person knocked on your door to endorse a candidate?
Well,
in
it's like
some
totally
local
different if a British person came to Boston and like started endorsing a candidate. I would accuse them of violating the 1791 Quartering Act and call the militia.
And so what's your experience been like?
People are really nice here. They're like, like when they don't want to talk to you, they still talk to you for a little bit. Have you not been sleeping, brother? What's going on?
What are you talking about?
You're just like
I worked
yawning.
last night.
Yeah, but did you clearly also slept in because we were supposed to do this podcast in the morning.
Yeah, I didn't really sleep in.
How's work going?
That's fine.
They called you in early yesterday to do a photo shoot?
There was the Today Show was doing a piece. So I was in it.
You were on the Today Show?
I think it'll air in January.
You're gonna be on the Today Show in January.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They were doing a piece about the bar.
Is AC Slater on the Today Show?
I don't know, because I kept asking the people there. I was like, "Oh, have you seen the morning show?" And most of them just kept being like, "No." And then the producer was finally like, "I don't find it amusing. That's my life. That really happened to me, you know." Which, have you seen the morning show, brother?
No. Tell me exactly what you're talking about.
It's a show that's based off. It's like a show that's Apple TV's flagship show. It stars.
Oh, with
Jennifer
Steve
Aniston,
Carell and Jennifer
Steve
Aniston.
Carell. Yeah, but also what's her name from Legally Blonde? She's the fucking best.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, she's so good. I like this show, in part because the other shows I like, Ariel won't watch with me because they're violent. But in this one isn't violent, but it's amazing that the morning show. It's really good, and it's all about the Today Show. And what was the guy's name that got Me Too? The former host,
Matt
Do you know?
Lauer.
Matt Lauer, yeah, that's Steve. That's the Steve Carell character, I guess. But can you fucking imagine if you worked on the Today Show right now and you were just like, I'm not gonna watch the morning show, like a show about.
I'm
my
just
life.
trying to imagine like you're a worker at your job and
Yeah.
some bartender comes up to you and is like, "Hey, you know this thing that like is really shitty that you had to deal with? Will you talk about it for my own amusement, please?" Would I like, especially if it was like a cock of the walk, cis white Jewish guy like yourself?
Cock of the walk.
Yeah, that's how everyone else perceives what you think of as your swagger.
Is that fucking some weird British slang that you've picked up?
No,
Cock of the walk? That's not an American thing that we would say. Oh, cock of the walk.
you sound like you're trying to do a British accent, but you sound like mostly like a Dutch country folk person.
What is that? A Dutch country folk.
Oh,
person.
on top of I don't know.
No, I want you to say cock of the walk to you in a Dutch country accent.
It's exactly what you said. Cock of the walk to you.
That's your Dutch countryman voice.
Maybe it's
All right, now I want you to say cock of the walk to you.
No,
in
fuck
a-
this. Fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I'll talk to you later.
Wait, I have a question for you that I was thinking about. I was thinking about the Myles Garrett thing a little bit more. And the football player that got his head smashed in by
No, who did the smash?
Myles Garrett used his helmet to beat up the MAGA Steelers quarterback, as previously discussed, and then it since came in since that our last podcast aired. There was like some racial slurs involved, but for some reason it made me think of. Have you ever heckled a sports player to the point where you caused a fight? Did I make this up or did that really happen? Like, did you like cause any baseball fights ever? Do you feel like you can attribute any bench clearing brawls to your own personal behaviors?
No, I mean, like there's one time where we were heckling, Joey Gathright, and he had like a colossal, like a ball went over his head because he was so focused on responding or not responding to our hecklings of him.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Just that, like, he would never make the Hall of Fame and that my life sucked, but I wouldn't trade it for his.
Yeah, that's what I remember too. Is like for the first few innings, you were just being like the run of the mill. Like you like picked this dude who was the center fielder for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and had just kind of just come up in the league. He was literally like a nobody, and you were honing in on him. And at first, you were just going like, "Hey, Joey, you suck. You're never gonna make the Hall of Fame, Joey." And he was completely ignoring you. And then you started standing up in quiet moments and started shouting like, "Hey, Joey, my life is pathetic. I'm a fucking loser.
I haven't been laid in years. That's how I know you suck, Joey, because I could smell my own. And like then his like shoulders started to like respond to that, and then you like realized you're in, and you just kind of.
He would talk about the heckling in the Boston newspapers for years to come, which was very gratifying.
I wonder if we can find any of those.
Unlike
articles.
microfilm.
Yeah.
I also remember this one time where like it was like a rain delay and we were playing Toronto and I was in high school and I knew only one player by name in the Blue Jays bullpen, and that was Dan Plesac. So I said to I said to another pitcher, I was like, "Excuse me, could you please tell Dan Plesac that he sucks and looks like a penis?" And it turned out to be this guy who later became an all-star with the Angels, Calvin Escobar. Got so mad and started defending Dan Plesac and he's like, "First of all, your friend looks like an Eskimo," talking about Scott Yanko, which remains one of the funniest things anyone has ever said to Scott Yanko.
Okay.
But then he started making some homophobic comments about my description of Dan Plesac as a penis resembling.
That's too bad for Kelvin Escobar.
But like, I don't think I've ever like heckled a player so badly that he like got mad and charged the mound.
Okay.
I think you're thinking of Rookie of the Year, where the kid is on second base and he's heckling the opposing team's pitcher, and so the opposing team's pitcher hits the Chicago Cubs player in the back.
Yeah, that is what I'm thinking of. Rookie of the Year. Thanks for clarifying that. I always confuse real life with Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good
Rookie
movie.
of the Year is good because
that was a good movie because I like that movie because in order for a Jew to ever make a significant contribution in athletics, they need to be injured in a freak accident.
Is he Jewish?
Is the guy who plays the Rookie of the Year Jewish? Oh my God!
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a huge Jew.
Well, I was
Isn't
just
he
thinking about it.
The guy from American Pie?
I don't know. He's an actor. I like that it takes you from the spectator into the star of the show, which everyone as a spectator can kind of relate to. Like you kind of are watching this thing and you're like, if only there was some way that like the right person would notice me, then I would be the person that everyone's looking at.
Right. And there's a movie where Whoopi Goldberg is a huge Knicks fan and then becomes a Knicks coach.
Oh yeah. That's probably a good movie too.
And then there's this movie called Celtic Pride where two assholes from Boston want to help the Celtics, so they kidnap the other team's player. They really help the team.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see us doing that.
The Celtics haven't been playing. They got off to a 10-1 start, but they've only been playing 500 balls since then.
Well, Gordon Hayward's hurt, and
they've been losing to team. They've been losing games a lot. They lost to the
not a lot.
Well, they lost to Brooklyn, which is bad.
Yeah, but they lost to Brooklyn. That sucked. That was kind of inexcusable, but they played them 2 games in a row, and it was kind of...
Yeah, but they're about to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but they'll get worse when they get Kyrie Irving.
Do you... That might be true.
I don't think the Celtics are going to win the championship this year. I truly don't. But I mean, we went toe to toe with the Clippers, the best team in the league, who probably is going to win the championship. And without Gordon Hayward, we were right in that game. We could have won. I think we'll be able to win any given game.
Do you think we're in the top 4 in the East?
Definitely. I mean, there's still a way we're gonna need Robert Williams to accelerate his development, and probably Grant Williams too. We need both of those guys, the rookie from last year and our first round pick from this year, because we need bigs, and we need, like, Enes Kanter fucking sucks.
I hate
So we
him.
need those guys. We need those guys to develop rapidly. Jason Tatum spoiled us as to like what as to expectations for rookies coming out, like, because he was just so good in his first season. He didn't make these boneheaded plays that Robert Williams is still making in his second season. But I think, like, that's Jaylen Brown. Like, it took him his rookie season wasn't that impressive.
Neither is Marcus Smart's.
And neither was Marcus Smart's, yeah. And so, yeah, we have to be a little bit patient with this team. It's probably a year or two away from really hitting its peak. I mean, I don't know, but maybe when Gordon Hayward comes back, if he picks it up where he left off, and Jason Tatum has jumped up a level, Jaylen Brown's playing great. Like, maybe we will have this thing again where we have 4 all-star caliber players and Marcus Smart, who's a complete, like, it doesn't fit any mold of. I don't know. I still think the Celtics are going to be really fun to watch this year as the season goes on.
Okay. Do you think they can beat the Oladipo Pacers in a playoff series?
Yes.
Do you think they can beat the Toronto Raptors in a playoff series with Kyle Lowry and P.L. Sass?
Yeah, I think Siakam goes off maybe 1 or 2 games, but in general, we outlast them. We have more firepower than they do.
What about the Jimmy Butler Heat?
Same. Butler goes off for a game or 2, but I just think we're too good spread out, so we can withstand one of our all-star players not having a
Okay.
having an
Well,
off
what
night.
about
And I don't think the Heat can do that.
what about the fucking Nets with in the playoffs with Kyrie and Durant?
What, next year?
You don't think Durant's coming back before the playoffs this year?
No,
I do.
that's insane. He's not.
Okay, I'm not going to fact check this. I'm just going to move on. What about so? Well, then I think we can beat them. And I'm not worried about the Nets either. I'm just worried about the Bucks and the Sixers.
Yeah, same. And again, if we can figure this out so that they play each other before we play them, and we only have to beat one of them, I think we might be able to figure out how to do it. Like, if the Bucks take out the Sixers, then we just have to beat the Bucks. I think we could probably figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think we could figure out if it was the other way around though.
Be a lot harder.
Have you been watching any Bruins games?
No.
You know, the Reddit streams on Bruins games are really easy and really good. And you can watch Nesson no problem, which I haven't.
Yeah, the streams Reddit streams are just off. What have you been using to watch games? I use NFL Byte and NBA Byte, but it's not great.
Yeah, well, Reddit for hockey is good. And streaming in the UK is actually way better. I've never seen it so good, but I'm also watching at crazy hours, so the internet's not in as high demand, I guess.
Have you been watching any soccer?
No.
People really like soccer. They really often tell me that I should get into soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know who to root for. You know, I would hate to choose the Yankees.
Liverpool, which I guess has some socialist tendencies, and they're owned by the Red Sox owner.
That makes me think they don't have socialist tendencies.
Yeah, their fan bases, though, or something. I'm not really sure. I don't really care to understand more. I guess Tottenham, who I was into because of friend of the podcast, Rob Ackroyd, I was rooting for them, but then someone told me that their whole thing is that they're anti-Semitic.
That's their whole thing? That's like their organizing principles?
Yeah. And then there's another team that is to counteract that, like their rivals or whatever, but they just fly the Israeli flag.
The Palestinian flag?
No, the Israeli flag. Like that's their thing. So both
This is
those options
fucked.
seem pretty bad. Yeah.
Well, the Bruins are really good. Since they lost Game 7, they haven't lost in regulation at home.
Is that true?
It's like the third month of the season.
That's amazing. Hey, when you're knocking doors and do you ever get into like heated exchanges?
Well, I do like to invalidate people's lived experiences about anti-Semitism.
Invalidate people's lived experience, like Jews?
Yeah. Well, I don't really care. It's everyone in Britain has an opinion about labor anti-Semitism, whether they're Jews or not. But I get to say I get to stop them and be like, let me just stop you right there. I would not be knocking doors right now for this party if I thought they were in any way anti-Semitic. Also, and then I can just cite some figures which show that anti-Semitism isn't a structural problem in England. That is to say, Jews are doing fine as a minority group.
Does it ever recall didn't you get into an altercation with like the British Prime Minister, with Tony Blair?
Oh yeah, it's true.
What
In
was that?
Palestine.
He's like in Palestine?
Yeah. He was like on a
Why was he in Palestine?
He's on an EU peace-building convoy mission, and I demand an apology for the Iraq War. And then his security staff threw me in the garbage.
They threw you in the garbage?
Yeah.
The thing that it was on video, I don't think that video exists anymore. Does
No,
it?
it does. I think I can find it.
Where? Find it. Actually, give it to me. I'll post it on our Instagram, or just give it to me in private. I'd love to see it because what I remember is someone off camera is going, "Max, he's not gonna respond to you. He's Tony Blair. He's not listening to you." And then like at that exact moment, Tony Blair stops and looks right at you and is like, respectfully disagree with you, mate, or whatever, like in his British accent. And then you guys like have
It was exactly like the
rapid-fire
Joey
exchange.
Gathright situation. Like, I was shouting at him for a few innings. It didn't seem like he could hear. Then he made the fatal error of acknowledging me. So then I went to town because I knew he could hear me.
So you think that your like history of confronting, like speaking truth to power and confronting prime ministers and center fielders are related? You put the
I don't understand
Joey
how
Gathrights-
people who do this with who come to this kind of lifestyle confronting power without a sports background do it. Like, it's just like completely foreign to me.
That's fucking fascinating. So like again, I think we've talked about this previously in the podcast about like your experience as Yankees suck, like as hating the Yankees growing up, like allowed you to like assisted you in organizing against fascism. I think was what your outrageous claim that remains ungrounded, but
That's
he's definitely made the
definitely
claim
true.
earlier.
I stand by that statement. We must
And
drive
now-
the Yankee fans underground.
And now you're saying that like your history of, so like, what else? Who else have you had confrontations with that resemble sports heckling? Have you told like
What about
what-
Justice Scalia?
yes, yes. Did you told him that you're like, excuse me, Justice Thomas, can you tell your colleague Scalia that he sucks and looks like a penis head? No, what was that? He was like speaking. What did you do? You threatened to buy a bazooka or some kind of missile and fire it at the U.S. government, and somehow that was what did you do there?
Close. I pointed out how it was illegal for me to buy a bazooka at Raytheon with my American Express black card, and I said that seemed to undermine the arguments that he made in DC versus Heller, the DC handgun case.
And what did he say in response?
It doesn't really matter.
This is
He went crazy, but like everyone in the law school building like giggled at the Supreme Court justice. So it was like a Pyrrhic victory.
What were the losses suffered on your side? Were you thrown in a trash can again?
No, actually, that was a tremendous success. That was a good heckle.
The Scalia.
Yeah.
So you got Tony Blair, Scalia.
Senator
then-
Scott Brown at the AFC Championship game in 2011.
Wow, what's that?
No, he just was there with his daughters, and I told him that was like, I said, like, on a real tip then of like telling people, thanking them for subverting our democracy.
Uh-huh.
Remember when I did
So
that in New York City to Chuck Schumer?
No.
No, I sent dessert over to him when Collier and I were out to dinner.
Are you fucking serious?
She got so mad at me.
Wait, you sent dessert to Chuck Schumer, and then how did you deliver the message that it was to thank him for subverting our democracy?
I told the waiter to say that.
Did they?
Yeah, and then he gave us the finger.
Who, the waiter or Chuck Schumer?
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer gave you the finger?
Yes.
What restaurant were you in?
I don't remember. She would know, though.
Damn it, that's insane. All right. Scott Brown. That's a pretty impressive list, brother. I have to say, I'm proud of you.
I mean, I just wish there were more.
Well, what are you waiting for? Get out there. The world's your oyster.
I really think that, like, I'm at the peak of my powers right now, and I could get Boris Johnson to punch me in the face. And that would be an international incident. You know what I mean?
Wow. That would be... I would.
If you're-
I would change...
Or if I got him to swing at me and then I knocked him out and had to go to jail, do you think I would come out of jail a hero?
I think it would be a lot better for you, just for your life and our life, like my family's life, if you just took the punch.
What if I
instead of
knocked
knocking
him the fuck out, though?
That's not good. It's not good.
Okay.
That wouldn't be good for us because
You're saying
I
that,
don't
like,
know that
it
you're-
would actually, even if there was a video as cool as the Richard Spencer getting punched video and it was me punching Boris Johnson, it would
No, because
ultimately
if
be
you
bad
punch
for the family?
Yeah, if you punch the prime minister and knock him out, you like don't get out of jail for that. You pretty much just stay in jail.
Oh, Britain's jail laws are way different. I don't know.
That's-
We'll
that's
see.
like
You're right. You're right.
terrorism.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're totally right.
But if you could provoke him into punching you, I think that would change the course of history without doing that much damage to our family.
but I would still have like a punched face. Would you help me?
Like I'd ice it for you.
You wouldn't. I've been living my whole life that, like, according to the idea that if I ever get punched in the face, you'll avenge me. Is that not true?
It's true that you've been living your life that way, and as I've demonstrated on multiple occasions.
Okay, you're not loyal.
Over Thanksgiving, we were in Brookline and we're driving around with Zan and Ariel, and Zan was like pointing out to Ariel, was like, this is the place where Max stood, like it's like the center of the Israeli community in Coolidge Corner, and he waved his Palestinian flag, and he just like had like all these like Jewish suburban moms spitting at him and people getting out of their car and trying to attack them. And Ariel was like, "Oh my God, that sounds so horrible. I feel so bad for Max." And Zan's like, and we just watched the whole time. And she was like, "Why were you guys there watching?" And Zan's like, "Because Max asked Sam to go there to protect him." And I had to correct him. Well, I said like Sam was like, we were there to protect him or something. And I was like, I don't know, like we were there because
Max asked for protection, and I think we just went to try and like talk him down and get him to get back in his car. And
Sam,
Which I don't know.
as if I was the brother who is constantly getting into fistfights in Brookline, you would get into fistfights walking home at night with random people on rooftops. You would get there's like a whole like we called it the Sam Geller scenario, in which you got a ride home from the police and dad had to get out of bed to acknowledge that this had happened yet again.
What do you mean you called it the Sam Geller scenario?
Because no one else had that scenario happen.
Well, what do you mean? I mean,
I never
We
got
all-
a ride
we've all
home from
had
the
our different-
police, even though
I'm sorry.
I was,
You had you instead of getting a ride home from the police, you just like woke up in the morning to the police knocking on the front door.
yes, like
because you had
normal
left
people,
your
I
wallet
was
at the
called
scene
to
of the
account
crime.
for my previous evening's activity by the police in the morning. We can say this for another podcast. I'm just saying, it's very rich.
I don't know. What's the point of saving to another podcast? I think we should really go into our respective criminal records and compare them and see which one is more of a malfeasance to society.
I don't think I'm not prepared to argue that it was wrong of you to try and fight those kids on the rooftop. They seem like real assholes.
I didn't try and fight them. It just happened. But how come you left your wallet at the scene of the crime when you burned the American flag and draped it over the Liberty Bell on July 4th?
Well, I mean, if that happened, it was certainly not a purposeful act. But how come you got busted peeing in the reflecting pool at the Christian Science Center? Oh no, wait! I busted you doing that. Wow. What about Canopy Lake Park? The Canopy Lake Park incident.
Water country. Anyway,
Water Country Safari.
yeah, I have a new thing to report. So, Ma went to the Trader Joe's market for Thanksgiving, and
Which one?
overheard, I don't know, but she overheard someone going, like, Jimmy, see if you can find me a jar of artichoke hats, which I think I nominate to replace the pack your cat have yeah.
Oh, Java Artichoke hats.
Yeah, go run down to the market and get me a jar of artichoke hats. What do you think? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to Phone Well Keys, David Ortiz. This has been
A pretty good episode.
a thrilling experience on my end, and I hope that you like yours. Tuned in, stay tuned for next week's episode.
Which might
Or it
happen
might
in
be
3 weeks from
3
now.
months from now. But I don't know. I love you very much, brother.
I love you, too. I'll talk to you real soon, all right?
Talk to you soon.
Bye.